We have been told a simple story about our modern, cluttered lives. The story suggests, if we could only clear away the excess, if we could strip our homes down to their essential components, we would find a corresponding clarity in our minds. It is an appealing promise, one that has launched a global movement toward minimalism. The logic feels intuitive. A tidy room must surely lead to a tidy mind. We see images of serene, sparsely furnished spaces, and we imagine a life free from distraction, a mind finally at peace. This narrative has sold us on the idea that physical decluttering is the direct path to mental stillness, a one-to-one relationship between our surroundings and our inner world. This belief has guided many to meticulously curate their possessions, embracing the aesthetic of less. They have sorted, discarded, and organized, creating environments of remarkable visual order. Yet for many, the promised mental calm has failed to materialize. The clean surfaces and empty shelves do not quiet the persistent hum of internal noise. The mind remains just as busy, just as fragmented, and just as overloaded as it was before. This experience creates a quiet confusion. If the problem was too much stuff, and the stuff is now gone, why does the feeling of being overwhelmed remain? The answer, it seems, is not as simple as clearing a room. The assumption that external order automatically creates internal order is where the story begins to break down. We have mistaken the symptom for the cause. The visible clutter in our homes was perhaps only a reflection of a deeper, less tangible form of clutter. This invisible clutter is not made of objects, but of decisions, obligations, unresolved thoughts that constantly pull at our attention. It is the buzzing phone on the clean table, the unanswered emails in a closed laptop, and the half-formed plans for the week ahead. These are the things that truly occupy our mental space, and they cannot be donated to charity or stored neatly in a box. This exploration begins not by dismissing the value of an organized space, but by looking beyond it. It aims to understand why the popular solution of minimalism often falls short of its ultimate promise of mental peace. We will move past the aesthetics of tidiness to investigate the underlying mechanics of a cluttered mind. Our focus will be on the invisible architecture of our cognitive world, where the real work of decluttering must take place. This is not another guide to a lifestyle trend. Instead, it is an investigation into the nature of mental clarity itself, seeking a more durable and effective path toward achieving it, one that acknowledges the complexity of our inner lives. Imagine a room, stripped bare of all but the essentials. The walls are clear, the surfaces are empty, the floor is uncluttered. Every object has its designated place. Visually, it is the very picture of tranquility. This is the goal that many people seek when they embrace minimalist principles. They invest considerable time and effort into curating their physical environment, believing that this external order will translate directly into internal peace. The expectation is simple. A less cluttered home should lead to a less cluttered mind. Yet, after the last box is donated and the final surface is polished, a strange dissonance can emerge. The room is quiet, but the mind is not. A beautifully organized bookshelf, for instance, does not in itself reduce the mental load of the unread books it holds. Each spine can represent a commitment, a should-read that occupies a small but persistent corner of our mind. Likewise, a clean desk with a single closed laptop might look orderly, but it hides the hundreds of unread emails, pending project deadlines, and complex decisions waiting within. The aesthetic of simplicity creates the illusion of control, making us believe we have less to think about, when in reality, we have only hidden the triggers for those thoughts from plain sight. We believe that by arranging our external world in a logical, pleasing way, we have somehow organized our internal world as well. It is drawn to unresolved issues, no matter how well they are hidden. The decision of what to cook for dinner still requires cognitive effort, even if the kitchen counters are completely clear. This creates an exhausting cycle. The effort of maintaining the visual standard can even add to our cognitive burden, becoming another task on an already long list. We polish the surface while ignoring the complex machinery running and rattling just beneath it. The aesthetic, which promised freedom, becomes its own form of prison. Cognitive clutter is the invisible architecture of our mental overload. It is not made of physical objects you can touch or see. It is made of thoughts, tasks, and decisions. Think of it as the mental equivalent of having too many browser tabs open on your computer. Each tab represents an unfinished task, an unmade choice, or a vague obligation. While some are in the foreground, demanding immediate attention, many more hum quietly in the background. They are the open loops. The email you know you need to answer, the phone call you keep meaning to make, the project you started but never finished. These items do not exist in your physical space, but they occupy prime real estate in your mind. Much of this cognitive clutter is not born from large, life-altering choices, but from the relentless stream of small, mundane decisions we face every day. What should I wear? What should I have for breakfast? Should I reply to this message now or later? Which route should I take to work? Each of these questions on its own is trivial. However, they do not arrive one at a time. They come in a constant, overlapping cascade from the moment we wake until the moment we go to sleep. Their cumulative effect is what creates a significant cognitive drain. This process is like death by 1,000 cuts for our attention and willpower. Neuroscientific research has shown that our capacity for making high-quality decisions is a finite resource. Each choice we make, no matter how small, depletes this resource slightly. Our ability to think clearly, regulate our impulses, and make sound judgments diminishes. This is known as decision fatigue. The open loops we discussed earlier carry a specific and significant cost. They are not passive items on a list. They actively drain cognitive resources. An open loop is any commitment you've made but not completed or clarified. Because these tasks lack a clear outcome and next step, the brain can't file them as done. Your mind is pulled away by the ghost of unresolved commitments. Many open loops create persistent, low-grade anxiety. You feel always behind, like there's always something to do. But if lists are vague open loops, they can increase anxiety. Seeing vague tasks like plan holiday or fix kitchen door only reinforces the feeling of being overwhelmed. Removing a chair doesn't close the open loop of fix the kitchen door. The only way to close an open loop is to make a decision. Do the task. Schedule a specific time to do it, or decide not to do it. Until then, open loops remain cognitive clutter, consuming mental energy no matter how tidy the home is. If cognitive clutter is the invisible architecture of overload, then deliberate structure is its solution. This is where we shift from passively observing the problem to actively designing its remedy. It involves creating systems, routines, and intentional limitations that handle the recurring, low-value choices for you. You are fundamentally redesigning its operational workflow to prevent clutter from accumulating in the first place. A simple example is a weekly meal plan. The one-time decision of planning meals for the week eliminates the daily repetitive question of, "What's for dinner?" This is decluttering by design, not by disposal. A structural approach involves building filters to manage this flow. This might look like setting a specific time of day to check emails, turning off all non-essential phone notifications, or adopting a simple, near-uniform work uniform. These are not acts of deprivation. They are acts of strategic limitation designed to preserve mental capacity. The goal is not to create a space that looks calm, but to implement a system that functions calmly. The measure of success is not how empty your shelves are, but how little you have to negotiate with yourself about trivial matters. The most powerful tool in structural design is the concept of pre-decision. Routines and habits are the most common expressions of this principle. A set morning ritual, for example, is a sequence of pre-decided actions. You do not wake up and negotiate with yourself about whether to exercise, meditate, or read. The decision has already been made. The routine unfolds automatically, conserving your willpower for more demanding challenges. Your default for task management could be to always tackle the most important item first thing in the morning. This single rule eliminates dozens of small, attention-fragmenting decisions throughout the day. It creates a boundary that protects your focus. The mental load is dramatically reduced because the negotiation is gone. The point is not to become a robot, but to automate the non-essential to liberate the essential, freeing your mind from the constant burden of choice and creating a stable, predictable foundation for your day. We often think of mental clarity as an absence, the absence of stress, the absence of noise, the absence of thought. But this is a passive and incomplete definition. A more useful way to understand clarity is to see it as a presence, the presence of usable capacity. Mental space is not an empty void, it is operational space. It is the cognitive real estate available for deep thought, creativity, problem-solving, and genuine presence. When we say our mind is clear, what we really mean is that its resources are available, ready to be deployed. When systems and routines handle the recurring, low-impact decisions, they are freeing up cognitive RAM. This newfound capacity is tangible. It manifests as the ability to focus on a complex task for an extended period without feeling the pull of distraction. It is the mental bandwidth to handle an unexpected problem with calm and resourcefulness, rather than feeling instantly overwhelmed. Consider a day that flows without constant negotiation. The structure has created a frictionless path, preserving your mental capacity for higher-level thinking and being. It is about building a robust system that generates usable mental space as its default output. This space is what allows you to be more effective, more creative, and more present in your own life. Mental clarity is not an end state to be achieved, but a resource to be cultivated and used. A common misconception is that a highly structured life requires immense, unyielding discipline. But this confuses the means with the end. The entire purpose of building structures is to reduce the need for constant discipline. Designing your environment by putting the phone in another room is easy. The outcome is the same, but the energy expenditure is different. When a system is working correctly, it should feel effortless. The calm it produces is the natural consequence of a well-planned architecture. A person who lays out their gym clothes the night before is not more disciplined. Their system has simply made the act easier. The system does the heavy lifting, allowing calm and progress to happen in the background without conscious effort. It becomes the default state. Instead of constantly fighting against the current of modern life's distractions, you are carried along by the gentle, intentional currents of your own design. Clarity comes not from emptying homes, but structuring days. Slowly built, carefully protected, quietly preserved. The most profound inner changes often come from subtle adjustments to underlying architecture.